is made up towards you and backed up with a lot of things that go deeper than
Oh
the
yeah.
skin surface. I get that. I'm concerned about everything else and what kind of person you're projecting. If you're projecting the old soldier you was before God came into your life, are you trying things that personality?
So I say I've done a lot of changing.
Back to 101. You have to go. They'll understand your expectations and be so frustrated. Instruction and you throw that light instruction. Oh, now you teach what you do. I'm
Yeah.
not the master. Hell in there. I'm coming. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah. So I mean we ultimately, we had the conversation when said some things, and or they were able to hear, and then they missing key information. Right, like you were told by a soldier weekends that, man, listen, actually not how the went. I said, what I told him was I gave him a part about how I was when I got in trouble. I was one away. By that time, I was two. I and I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm deep, but I pushed it away because was like, I don't have a drink. Sure enough, the moment I knew that I pissed out, but I was getting ready to deploy in 2 weeks, I was like, stop drinking because I'm deploy whatever. On that deployment, I realized, oh, that was dependent alcohol. So I told that soldier, I said, hey, I said, I'm being told by your back super running system, like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not telling you to come, but it's based off one. I'm telling you who's complete, who's drunk. The reason you knew he bottle of
Yeah.
So I told that soldier, I was like, again, I'm not telling you that's where you're going, but I'm telling you this just to be careful. I said, you're only 21. Pace yourself. You got years. A lot of 20-year-old, 21 get to turn 21, start drinking, and think they got to drink all of the liquor right there when they turn. Hey, man, trust me. The alcohol is going to be there. Pace yourself. You can have fun. You don't need every night or every weekend or whatever. Does not need a night of where YOLO, where the nights, you only live. So he took that Wilcox. Those two NCOs that he told got upset, talked to question that I was talking to that with me, said, hey, that I said, hey, also, I said, I can confirm that. I said, there was another staff sergeant in the office. I had this. So there was a lot of missing key information that he wasn't given, that he was going off of to make, this only. And that's what I was talking about. A lot of what he was saying, very much more of, hey, this is you are wrong, or this is I know what's going on.
They took.
Never. Okay, so hear me out. You would never do that. I'm not gonna say never, but like, you're very reserved to take the word of private versus. So even if the private does come to you and say, "Hey, Sergeant such and such said A, B, and C," I hear you. Not right. Then you would go, "Hey, non-commissioned officer." They'll say, "No, I said that." Not 9 times. Most of the time they'll either say, "I said that," or they'll say, most of the time here they'll be like, "No, actually, this is what the conversation." You're like, "Okay, now I understand. Now I got a complete picture." That is where he was missing a lot of information.
people. However, don't force, don't force to ensure that what we tell you're the one pro. And I'm a pro is not king, but you to keep you get feeling like world, you're upset with the person that gave you the juicy bit of how bad information was. Now you want to lay hands on the person that told you. So, we can take the doubt.
So, all right, guys. Hey, welcome to another episode of Mediocre Dads Bible Study. I'm your host, Quan. I go by Q. Joined by my co-host, Minister Boggan, better known as E. I know we've been going for 10 minutes already, and we were having a discussion of something that we were discussing last week. So, this is the side of of Mediocre Dads Bible Study that, sometimes you guys don't get to see or hear because after the show. But, I do think it is, and sometimes I do enjoy kind of and kind of going because I do think these conversations that you guys natural state will help you to understand who we are as leaders self and kind of get a better understanding of us. So welcome to this week's episode. I know it's Monday. We're usually on Thursdays, but Monday, we said this on Thursday. He's got some stuff going on. He's doing some traveling. So allow him to take a vacation. We can shame him in the comments, leaving us,
the Lord is always with you, so you're in good hands.
But no, so on this episode, guys, we're going to be discussing testimony, and, I honestly, so I started doing some, but this is I'm not going to say I'm superior above anyway, but one of the easy and no notes right here in front of me are going to be able to tell my story better than me, right? I already know my story. I know what led me to get to where I am. So I don't have notes. I don't have any, but I do have some verses that I haven't helped me get through things in my life that I have no problem. So kind of getting started, we hear the word testimony. And I know I do this every week, right? But we hear the word testimony. Again, it's one of those words where most people can say, I know what that means. Really, what is testimony? Does anywhere outlined in the Bible where God defines?
Well, yes, when you look at Matthew 28:19, says, you're using breaker or you. But I always ask Google first. Y'all know I love to go
it's
to
time
Google.
For Google, y'all.
And we're going to see what Google has to say because that's what I asked. I said, according to the Bible, what is a testimony? And Google says the story about how God has changed your life through a personal relationship. That sums it up. Y'all, Google be on it. I get a lot. But I also put this in a note, and I wrote this because I wanted to say this to you all. Not all testimony need to be shared. It could do more harm than good. It's not dealing with if it's not dealing with the subject at hand or edifying the person, help them get closer to God, it's better kept between you. sometimes you can give just a little too much information that can run the person away more so than you're helping.
Yeah.
And not everything need to be told. Things you take to the grave because how far God had to reach down to get. The person that you're dealing with may not have been a drug dealer or a whoremonger or walking the streets late at night dressed with money. So sometimes you led by the Spirit. That you can help based on what already brought you. That's how God. So we often test word of testimony, test gone personality. Testimony is look at what everything that God do, testimony tend to us.
Oh, Israelites forgot all the time.
Yeah.
I bring it up almost every week, if not every week. Israelites forgot. They forgot, yeah, every single time. And it was almost like a weekly thing for them. Craziness. But I mean, but even then we do the same thing today, right? We have the amazing book that outlines, how Israel, like, where, hey, everything that God did for them. Hey, well, it was this idol that got me that really freed me from Egypt. It had nothing to do with God. It was this idol, and it was like, no, right? And even today for us, right? We'll pray, and okay, talking about prayer, right? We'll pray about something. We'll say we have faith that God will take care of it. He will come through, and he'll because of your prayer, because of your faith, and also because of what's in your heart. And then after he has done the thing that you said, Lord, I need this, and please, this is going to help me worship you better or more. Forget about him. I don't really need God anymore. I'm good. I've got everything I need. And when I was ready to change my life for real, right? Because I for so many times, backslid, what I talked about previously, ready to change my life for real. I said, okay, when I change my life for real, I don't want to revert back to, I can, it's on me, I can do it. So even what we were talking about within the first 10 minutes of the episode, right? One of the things I did when I went into this work, I said, okay, prayer. God is always with me. Make sure he's with me. Have that feeling. Even though I was getting angry, and look, the shorts from last week were the short clips that I'm speak from our. There was one in particular that I kept listening to. It resonated with me. It was in my head over and over and over. Was where God provides. I just like, okay, I'm gonna provide. Because this was like the core topic of what we were talking about last week. And I was like, I gotta remember this. I was like, and it stuck with me also when you said, was before you left, you said, hey, we have all these. You asked me, but are any of these life, are these just talk? And it hit me hard because I was like, man, I never want them just to be taught. I want them to actually for me, rather than just at the moment say, man, it feels really good when you said that. Oh, no, but I want it to be able to transform me for the better and for the future. So when I went into work this morning, I was like, hey, I'm going to want him to be the one that's orchestrating my work. I say them. If I say the words that I really want to say, well, listen, very, very ungodly. There might be some violence, genuinely, I was upset, and I feel a lot better now. I feel a little more. Really came. This is not the only time. Just kind of reaffirm and feel that feeling. God came through for me. It's just, it bolsters my faith in him even more. And
That's how it works. Put God.
yeah.
Because I'm bound to say some feelings, and I'm really not going to lose any sleep over the fact that your little feelings just got crushed. So, because then the backdrop, the sheep get on your nerve. Sheep don't listen all the time. That's why not careful, want to disappear, and you got like, wait a minute, I just had 100 down to 99. Where the heck did that go? All right, y'all stay over there. You're corralling me now. You got to go find the hammer knocker that wouldn't do right, won't listen, and won't stay with the doggone rest of them.
What was that? Who was Joshua? Joshua's the one with the many colors, cloak of many.
You're talking about the young brother that the father found favor in with the coat he gave him, and his other brothers tried to kill him.
And yeah, it was. Hold on. No. I'm sorry. I'm using my stories. Referring to David fought the lion and the bear before he went to slay Goliath. I'm sorry. Forgive me, guys. Confusing my stories there. But yeah, when before David went and fought Goliath, right? He killed. I think there was a coyote.
Well, I know about the lion and the bear.
I think maybe not a coyote, but a lion and bear.
Yeah, he chosen Jesse's youngest.
Jesse, there we go.
Jesse's youngest boy.
What's with J's in the Bible? There's so many J's in the Bible. Joshua, Jacob, Jonah, James. Look, you gotta remember all these names. Sometimes you're like, man, I the guy with the J in his name, But I think of that where, right? So if you're think of the sheep, think of what it was like. This young David is like, I gotta go fight this bear because one of my sheep got away, right? Just one. The willingness he had to go fight the sheep, one to go fight the bear. Oh, I gotta go fight this lion because one of my sheep got away, and that to me, right there is a prime example, perfect example of okay. Even though they get on your nerves, because I know he was upset. I don't think he was sitting there smiling like, I can't wait to go kill this animal, right? I know he was probably upset, but he was still like, this is what I'm willing to do for my family.
Parables. Talked about parables, prodigal piece of entire house choice when she found the piece lost. Point. Lose one. They need a shepherd. Shepherd guides, take them to pasture. Protection. It's the same. That the first class, and that I didn't earth. So if bird personality, they are, or you're going to hurt with the problems that you go dealing with. It's real, right? interpret as well as the Bible, but we just don't want to always do right. And we need proved or rebuked, directed, corrected, so that we
talking to I was very honest with it. Regardless of how I have one, I would never always out. You're one of, if not current, who are I don't want to lose. I don't. But hey man, I'm not asking that. But I am asking, maybe, just maybe, help be the change within. I think that I can be, but I can't do it by myself. I need all of you. I know that. I can't do it by myself. That is why I lean so heavily on you guys. That is why I lean on the team that I have around me, because I know I can't do this by myself. I did it. I tried to do this whole thing by myself for a long time, but I can't do it by myself. And I told him this. I wanted to tell him this, not to be like, hey man, false motivation or whatever. But I wanted to tell him, wanted him to. I do need you, and I do value the what you provide to this. I want you to be a part of it. Sometimes you make it hard.
period of probably appears appreciate test important a person is. Before you know, you have to care it. We're doing so the first
Mm.
10 minutes because I'm not time.
First Sergeant doesn't beat you. Say that to my soldiers all the time.
As soon as I got wisdom, started recognizing, I believe work to do it. What right look like? You're there. So you people, next man up. Hey, that joker, no time to get out there. They don't know what reports are in doing. They don't know the protocol. They don't know the idea. They could be confident enough to go give directives, but if you don't ins and out, pastor, principal, mission,
Yeah. No, I agree. I've always believed that unf- it might sound unfortunate in some ways, but I always believe you have to give, be willing to give in a way they have it that we need to, rather than just saying we signed up to get paid to do this, so go do what I told you. Don't get me wrong. Sure, that is the gist of what it is. But at the same time, I don't think there's nothing wrong. I've noticed that I'll give you an example. I have a soldier I first took over, was he my complicated, and the transformation that last three he made automatically got promoted there, and he's had some stumbles. Ultimately, he is at now is a soldier that 3 months ago you wouldn't even recognize. Training other soldiers. He was just at PFC a month ago that I had to kind of like, hey man, what are you doing? What's going on? Training other soldiers. And you know, even now, he doesn't watch my podcast, so it's all good. Doesn't matter. I'll say this here, but I told my first, hey, I already have Cobra of the Quarter. We're recognized from the platoon. Whatever. These are the soldiers that stood out. And I told his NCO. I told my first sergeant, I said, hey, I'm gonna let you know I'm putting up this soldier or soldier of the Cobra. Comes with it's rec. Hire we do it if with it we do a battalion, whatever their goals are. We usually do in front of the they'll get recognized, or we'll do it internally at our at. But I told my first sergeant, I want to recognize it. This morning. Gave a P and he did a spec. I told him, I said, good job here. Good job here. Talking battalion commander, one heck of it. For him to be able to say, hey, I recognize. I put him in that place put him that in there. I knew the moment I put him in a place where he could thrive, he has been thriving. He's done a wonderful job. But again, this is for me, it's like, hey man, I want to recognize, I want you to see that you have, and I want you to see that, hey, like rather than the negative, like
To know diligence. Oh, perplexed. Good time. together. Or we all stayed late. We all stayed late. But then when we got off early, we all where every board board to that. What you spoke more than I words and put this depot and you ticked off, kept you in the line in a hurry. And then as a pastor, look well when one of the members catch you put on, pick up your daily. There's no time to do for that's not you.
No, it's I most people know my story, and I've said it several times. Won't waste people's time judging through but give you the cliff notes but the cliff notes more or less are just, I felt could have been kicked out of the military. Didn't get kicked out of the military. I got demoted. Our second daughter, I couldn't. I had to. So I was going through a lot of things. Unit, exception of. Trying to take baby leave. I finally take baby. At that point, I was 200 and over 200. I was that I was like, first thing I did was I went back to the daily. There, I heard in my really praying back into my. That is ultimately what led me to. I was like, when I felt what I heard was the calling of saying, "Hey." It was kind of in the gym. It was a weird thing in the gym, and I trust me sitting in the gym. I'm like, "There's no way." That was for me was when I was like, if this is real, right? I was still a baby. I'm still am, but like at the baby, if you will, like I'm a couple days old, if you, of like really like if really deep into my faith, where I was like, no, what that if that's what I'm hearing, whatever the case might be. But then from there, I made it really when I want, and I have been ever since. It's been a great journey, but again, as you said, it's about the action. And for me, I do feel that I have changed. There is the final part of my life that is the military. That is the final part, the final piece of where I can connect. One, Staff Sergeant will say they're the same. in my community.
Just because I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
understand
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
God, church,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh, totally understand. Totally understand. And that's but and again, it's about going back to what you said, it's about we have a choice. Every day I was making the choice of saying, well, I could be godly here, but I can't. I was making, I mean, for the longest time, and even today, right? I'm not going to claim to be perfect, and that's my life has completely changed. Even today, there are times in my head, and I think about it now, where I'm thinking about it. Where I'm like, I need to make a choice. Am I going to be? I need to be godly all the time, not just when I leave here.
cussing. Then people face pastor ties artists. So
Right.
God knew you.
Oh
I
yeah.
served 30 years. So soaking yourself down with oil. Or you even going to your head shining oil because you anointed yourself so much. They're like, man, shining. Word is good. You know, you ain't got to be a preacher on point.
Yeah.
And still be a progress.
Yeah.
So put on it.
Yeah. And so and again, that is where I'm trying to get where, and I say trying, I'm actively trying where we're trying to understand what that, and I'm not sitting here saying sitting here daily like, okay, if I'm involved in this situation, this is what this would look. This is what Christian army quant. I'm saying, and what I'm saying is I'm trying to get a better understanding. So long for going on almost 11 years now, I have always separated to the point where now trying to reset and trying to figure out, hey, what does that look like? Because one of the things that, that I do think about sometimes, does Christian Quan at work mean, I, does it mean
No,
that every response I say has to be God willing? So
no, oh,
if,
no, no, no,
Christ be king, like something
no,
random, strange, right?
no,
Like,
no.
and that's what I'm saying though,
The
is,
same way we sit and pray.
yeah,
I
no,
said, act. It's
yeah.
not a statement or wear a cross and chaplain. You think that you're gonna put a cross up there and you're walking around with your Bible and you're blessing everybody, showering everybody. No,
And
you
that,
just
yeah,
be you. Difference. And I where you're change, oddly, yeah. But your personality you put on better. Lift up,
Well,
and that comes out the
yeah.
same way I was saying. Then
Well, I was going to say that. So, in the midst of that conversation, I just honestly, it's kind of what there was a realization, indirect realization, subconscious of what I mean by that. It was, do you remember how I told you I was like him and it's just frustrated and just so angry, right? But as we're within 5 minutes of the conversation, was this feeling, and I want to say overwhelming, but there was this feeling of compassion that I had for this person across from me. And I was like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it got here. Every feeling I've had before, angry, but all I have for this person across from me is compassion. I just want all I want that we can literally, we don't gotta hug it up, we don't gotta hug it out, we don't gotta dap each other up, we don't even have to shake hands. I just have this overwhelming feeling of compassion for this person across from me, and anger that I had, and that I had Friday. I've literally, you can ask my wife. She's helped me, giving me some space.
Me,
Yeah,
yeah, it was real.
Yeah, I was sitting in that chair, and I know y'all can't see the chair, but I was sitting in that chair, and I was sitting there. I had my Bible in front of me, reading Psalms, I'm Proverbs. I'm trying to find these verses on wisdom and trying to understand how does one really love their enemy like they love themselves. And I'm just, because I'm like, God, look, I'm reading these messages and he's pissing me off. I'm getting all angry, getting all riled up, and then really it went in because I knew we were having this conversation. Just going into this situation, I don't know what's going to come out. All I hope is that one understanding, want to know more for him more. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying everybody needs to, but I want to understand this individual. Maybe that's what they need, something that I'm not providing, and I need to. There's a part of me that needs, and that is when that feeling compassion came. It was like you know what, all those other things I had. None of that. It didn't matter. It doesn't. All I hope for is, hey man, I want to understand you. I even told him, I said, I do. My goal here was to never push. My goal here was to never make. I was like, I've been there. I felt what he was expressing, and I won't go into greater details about. But I've been there through. And I told him, I said, never want. I said, you know what? I've made you feel that way. As I genuinely do apologize, and I said, I want you to be part of this team. I don't want to be the guy that everybody sits. Staff Sergeant Wilcox is representing. I would much rather be the guy who, I may be the platoon sergeant, but everyone's like, kills it. He kills it. And I know, but everybody in my office knows. The guy in the back. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the guy in the back. I'm in charge, if you will, but I'm the guy in the back, and I can help. I'm making everything move, and I'm helping whatever the case might be. I don't care to get the praise. I don't need the praise. I don't need your platoon's doing great. No. You're right, but it's the soldiers that make you go. I don't do it.
passion come. Put on. It's just hell. Pray for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
help him. Still, they he's doing. It's on this stuff that I'm trying to deal with and manipulate through. The devil is taking the point that scriptures like 2 Timothy. So never be ashamed to tell others about our Lord, and don't be ashamed of me either, even though I am in prison for him. With the strength God gives you, be ready to suffer with me for the sake of the good news. So, here, for the sake, we are going to suffer. Opposed to punch. If you're going to pastor,
Oh yeah.
because the take care will be the ones punching you in the face. And I'm telling you, this is how it works.
Yeah.
When family, state, sucker punch.
Oh.
And it hurt because you care. You dukes up, you know how to protect yourself. Hard, hurt like that's normal. Talk to individuals. Put on the whole. Sell it.
Amazing. And Paul, so for the longest time, I always thought Paul was overused aspect, and even Catholicism. I always thought he was just an overused character. All right, I get it, right? Like, Paul, he was wanted to ride his horse to Damascus, got blind. He was unblind, and then just ultimate Christian, right? Like, I was just like, man, we just overuse Paul, right? But as I continue to read my Bible, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm about to overuse Paul. That guy's amazing. Let me tell you, because he sat there and he said he was time. I don't know, but I remember reading and talking about how it was right before he got locked up. said, "Hey, I'm going to Jerusalem. Probably not going." Hey, they were trying to stop him. Like, no, then don't go, please, please. Trying to convince him that he should just stay here. Right? I think it was the Ines. I have it in the word in my head. Anyway, trying to stop him. And how it ends, he says, just basically says they were like, "Hey, good, it was God's will." And I read that. I reread that like 5 times, and I was like, "What a G! What a G!" Just to be like, "Hey, man, I'm about to go over here, and I'm going to be locked up, but don't worry, I'll let you know." But I'm going to go. Right? I got to go. Just like Jesus knew, like, hey, no, no, no. I need to go. I will be crucified. I have, right? No ifs, ands, buts about it. But we have to do these things in which the Lord outlined in the prophet going to happen. When he told the 2 disciples, he said, "Go into you're going to find a donkey. You're going to find that you're going to tell this man these exact words. And when you tell it to him, he's going to give you the donkey. And you're going to bring the donkey back, and I'm going to come riding it on." Right? And they were like, I'm sure they're looking at him like, "Yeah, Jesus, ooh, got you." Walk in, told the dude, and he was just like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Here's my donkey. Here you go. You got it." And he came riding in. Had to happen that way. Had to happen that way. Just like for Paul, it had to happen that way. And so as I'm sitting here and we talk about testimony, coming to the end of this episode of testimony, I wholeheartedly believe for me in my life, the things that happened, they had to happen that way. In order for me to get where I am right now, in order for me to get where I am today, those things had to happen. And it sucked when I was going through them. It was unfortunate. It was hard. But if I didn't go through those things, I would not be where I am today. I would not be sitting in front of you today. We would not be having this conversation today. I would not be, ultimately, I would not be able to profess and speak the name of God and speak about God and comfortably say the word God on a podcast or in front of another person, or even say the word Jesus in front of another person with this type of confidence. I had not gone.
Probably would think have purpose. Take the journey, testimony. Coming from our past mistakes, we glory of God. I don't say that to because then you can get me. Bible, we don't. People are the gospel about the topics that God give us to talk about. Testify the glory of God, the good news. Goes to observe whoever I have commanded you, even until. So we're commissioned. Baptist who was blessed with the Spirit before he even commissioned. God didn't bless you to come. Was probably on fire doing your own thing until you came into the knowledge of God. So all of us, but
Yes.
now living gift, talent that we give to you. With God, all of those.
I I love our conversation. They're not only, again, I say this every week, they're not only for me, but I am selfishly I get to be here in person. And so you're not only for me, but they are for you guys. And the things that we talk about, they are real life. And I stress this because I want you guys to really hear what we're saying throughout this entire episode and all previous. These are not scripted episodes. Not like, hey, we got something written down and it's teleprompter. What are genuine thoughts? These are real life, my actual life. Things I'm explaining to y'all. These are my actual life, his actual life, and things you guys as well. I appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate coming on, having what we have to say. By all means, please comment. You have something that you think that we said was wrong, or you want to question, you have questions, please comment, ask your questions. By all means, I always encourage that because I think understanding will come. Listen, but you further understand. So if you're joining us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. It has been another great episode of Mediocre Dads. I would like to let you guys know he's going to be taking some vacation. I approve some vacation time. I'm joking. No, he's gonna be taking some vacation time. So we're probably gonna be you won't be seeing us for about maybe I think 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks. So don't fret. There will in 2 weeks we'll have another episode. We already have it planned. Talk a load of what we're gonna talk about. So just to let you know, if you're looking for us next week, right? Whatever the case might be, we're gonna be out for 2 weeks, but it's okay. We're coming right back, and when we come back right back, we're gonna be refreshed, ready to go, and hit y'all with a lot more stuff. So before we go, that's all I got. You got anything you want to put out there?
Hey, just keep the faith and rip and fall time to repent quickly. Back in the condemn yourself. Hell, point you just stop it. Good enough to see. The Holy Spirit is a comforter and a switches. Don't put yourself in situations or yourself stumble. So no problem with women. Don't go to clubs and hang out with women that rest all ways. Then you stumble and then say, help. First, stop going. Pardon it, and God definitely do. Bless you. Prayer. Love you. We can't wait.
Absolutely. Hey guys, that's all I got for you. Okay, remember, being mediocre is a choice. You have to choose to be mediocre every single day. Till next time, that's all we got. Mediocre Dads out, guys.